Hello, good afternoon, friends. Once again, welcome to all of you in this event of National Nutrition Week. So we had, just to let you know that we had a wonderful session yesterday, joined by eminent speakers, Dr. Mishra, ex-director of All India Institute of Medical Science, Dr. Sharad Kasarle. He is going to be our key speaker today, Mr. Rajiv Kapahi. And the session was with lots of interesting, enriching, meaningful topics relevant in these times. Just to highlight that Dr. Mishra emphasized that how our sedentary lifestyle changes have impacted our life, more prone to chronic diseases. It was highlighted that food is the real medicine before medicine becomes the food. Likewise, Dr. Sharad Kasarle spoke about certain facts that kitchen itself is a clinic and is a remedy store for various lifestyle diseases. Likewise, Rajiv Kapahi also talked about why food choice is important and how it can play an important role in building immunity. If you have missed visiting a session yesterday, you can visit Word of Wellness Facebook page and listen to the conversation we had yesterday. Today's topic is in line with yesterday's discussion, and we will have a key speaker, Dr. Sharad Kasarle, today, who is going to share his experience, expertise, knowledge, words of wisdom on Kitchen is Your Clinic. Interestingly, this morning when I was conversing, and Dr. Sharad interestingly mentioned about that your health account, KYC, is the Kitchen is Your Clinic KYC. Otherwise, the health account will become dormant. What an important statement which was made. Well, consuming a healthier diet, engaging in moderate physical activity and good sleep are the mantras to substantially reduce the risk of many chronic diseases, as we all know. And therefore, we also must learn that natural forces within us are the true healers of these killer diseases. I would not like to speak much because I'll personally be keen to learn and listen from Dr. Sharad Kasarle. But one point which I would like to just highlight before I hand over to Dr. Sharad, that these days what's happening is that we hear some very, sad news, and we really wonder that what's going wrong when people who are well-to-do celebrities at an early stage, they leave this world. And a sad news today that Siddharth Shukla, who's a well-known celebrity, we got to know through news that he passed away at a young age of 40. And before that, we also heard about Ranjan Das, who was the CEO of MD and MD of SAP. He passed away at an age of 42 due to cardiac arrest, whereas he was very active in sports, was a fitness freak and a marathon runner. Not only that, in fact, we had also seen another big loss, Anant Bajaj, who was son of Bajaj Electrical chairman, again suffered a cardiac arrest and passed away at an early age of 41. These are really very, very sad and shocking news. And this brings in a very serious topic. What is that which we are missing in our life and what we really need to practice? Not to talk much about this because we have Dr. Sharad, and Dr. Sharad, very brief background. He is a voice of nutrition, scientist, and amazing wisdom on Ayurveda and ancient wisdom. He is a medical practitioner. He has an incredible corporate journey as a scientist with very large pharmaceutical company. And not only that, he holds a US patent also, amount of research what he has done. So I think you will, your experience yourself when he is talking about on a topic which is of great relevance in our life. Kitchen is our clinic, and the mother or wife who is driving this is a true clinician. And in fact, on a lighter side, I call them that they are the chief happiness officer in our house. So over to you with these words, Dr. Sharad, and would like to hear your words of wisdom on this topic.
Thank you, Mr. Anil Khandelwal. It is really a great pleasure to speak in front of a large audience, especially today's audience, I believe, housewives. They are all Annapurna, and they are making beautiful efforts with their love, care, affection as the main ingredients of cooking to ensure that entire family stays healthy and happy. Unless you are healthy, you can never be happy whatsoever. Today's topic is very funny to sound. I'm sure not many speakers must have spoken about kitchen is your clinic. Actual clinic is something like you go, you visit a doctor, you need to take a prior appointment, wait there for about at least a couple of hours, and then you will be prescribed with lot of diagnostic tests and also the medications and restrictions. Today's topic is kitchen is your clinic. Now, during pandemic, even the doctor's visits have been reduced. So there were many patients who were calling. On an average, I used to attend even the calls from medical doctors. On an average, 40 to 45 calls a day saying that I am running down with a fever, I am running down with cold, I am running down with cough. The typical symptoms of COVID-19. And also extreme fatigue, that is chronic fatigue, that is loss of energy. And due to the media bombarding, everybody was afraid and living in fear, anxiety, and depression. So today's topic, I felt that we must make sure that the health is wealth, arogyam dhana sampadam, and how we can make best use of Mother Nature's incredible resources in order to treat and cure the diseases or disorders in your kitchen itself. And that is the initiative I had taken much before pandemic, much before COVID, 3 years back, training housewives, along with the training actually provided to medical doctors also through various CMEs, that is medical conferences, but the training to housewives so that housewife becomes the physician for the entire family. She cooks the food, nutritious food rather. She selects each and every ingredient which is coming in the kitchen and make sure that our entire family is free from number of medical conditions and diseases and disorders. Now, this topic is little tedious. Actually, people will expect that I am going to tell you some recipes or cooking methods, nothing like that. First is the role of medical nutrition on your health and how these foods, nutrition, medicinal herbs that can be used in your day-to-day cooking to resolve chronic medical conditions. Now, during COVID pandemic, I'm starting with COVID pandemic itself because last 2 years, all the diseases have disappeared and only people were talking about COVID-19. People who were suffering with chronic kidney disease, CKD, cancers, various types of cancers, anemia, asthma, and even neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, stroke. These type of patients were worried about COVID-19 itself because they knew that they are comorbid. Their blood oxygen carrying capacity is very low. Their lungs capacity is compromised. Blood flow to heart and brain is compromised. So, and the doctors were not freely available to visit their clinics and take the guidance, medical supervision. All these things were very scary. So today's topic, maybe about an hour or 1.5 hours, I will emphasize on certain aspects that you can easily follow in your kitchen. 3 P's we were worrying about. First is already pollution. Second was pesticides, too many pesticides in food. So what you get inside your kitchen is really the worrisome for your health of the family. That is pesticides or chemical fertilizers. Unfortunately, every food, every spice, every herb is today contaminated with this type of contaminants. And third P, of course, was pandemic. Now, all these three, how to make sure that the food which you are cooking will be free from all these 3 P's. So the simple tips where when you bring fruits and vegetables, wash with warm water and with 1% salt or 1% baking soda, and then rinse thoroughly under the tap water and do the blanching first. Blanching is cooking the vegetables at about 90 degrees for 2 to 3 minutes. So I was suggesting that not to eat raw vegetables or raw fruits, but do this cleaning procedure and do the blanched fruits and vegetables. And then you can add your seasonings like pudina, coriander leaves, or ginger shreds, something like that, or little bit of salt. This is very important to make sure that your food is free from all the pesticides, and also maybe on the surface there could be the contamination of bacteria, virus, and various other microorganisms. If we see overall, diabetes is growing very rapidly. Now the statistics, the different associations, they predict different percentages. Some say that the diabetes, every house has one diabetic patient. And some say that statistics, 1 out of 3 people are suffering from diabetes, which is mainly type 2 diabetes. About 90% people are type 2 diabetics. Type 1 is juvenile diabetes, where insulin secretion is absolutely missing, is not there at all. And now the major concern, which is increasing, is type 3 diabetes. You will be surprised to know what is the type 3 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes is nothing but diabetes of the brain. Commonly we know as Alzheimer's. And this can happen as early as even in 30s and 40s. Alzheimer's, that means memory loss, cognitive impairment. There is a vision impairment, there is a vision loss, and also loss of sensory characteristics like touch, smell, all these things. Taste also. Now, this is a major concern. It's a neurodegenerative disorder. Suddenly, the people are suffering with Alzheimer's. And there is another second neurodegenerative, which is a chronic disorder, is Parkinson's. You see tremors in the body, and also the loss of what you can say balance in the body. These Parkinson's patients can be easily identified by their posture. They bend a lot. 65% of deaths of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's is not because of the disease, Alzheimer and Parkinson. Their deaths are due to the falls. And because of fall and serious falls, head injuries, the patient dies. So this is a very serious concern. Every household must consider, and housewife must consider while preparing the food for various types of these chronic diseases or disorders like diabetes and Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, neurodegenerative disorders. Second, Second major concern is depression, anxiety, and fear. Whether these are the diseases, I will say that these are not the diseases, these are disorders. Diseases can be treated, disorders need to be managed. So depression patients, anxiety patients, they need a specific food, they need a specific type of lifestyle that need to be adopted. And every housewife, or rather every individual, must be trained with respect to all these aspects. Sudden cardiac failures, heart attacks, cardiomyopathy, myocardial infarction, alcohol-induced cardiomyopathy, stroke, these are also raising concerns amongst the youngsters, not only the elderly. We listen, and the surprise is that today, that person at the age of 40 is no more. While he was living very healthy lifestyle, he was a celebrity, maybe a sportsman, maybe an athlete. What else you need? He was doing maybe 8 hours or 9 hours of physical exercise. In spite of that, how the person gets heart attack, stroke, or sudden cardiac arrest. There is something definitely that this is alarming, not only amongst the working class, but also the celebrities. All the time, they are under stress. And the statistics show that medical doctors, they are at the optimum stress. So most of my talks, when I give the medical conferences up to the doctors, cardiologists, or even diabetologists, my main emphasis is on stress and stress management. And the food and nutrition plays a great role in reducing your stress levels. Everyone says yesterday's discussion also, the experts were commenting on yoga and meditation. I say, how many people really sincerely do yoga? I define yoga in order to make it more popularized. I define yoga, that is YOG, as your oxygen gift. This is an oxygen gift to you from the mother nature. Through some simple exercises or pranayam or breathing exercises, you are getting free oxygen. And to what level? See, every day, right from our birth, we require 660 liters of oxygen every day. And Mother Nature is providing us the 660 liters of oxygen, which is worth of 15 lakhs of rupees of ventilators cost in today's financial terms. So every day you are blessed with 15 lakhs of rupees worth of oxygen free of cost from your Mother Nature. And how much care we do with respect to, or reciprocation we do with Mother Nature, that is the whole part of our success of our health and success of our longevity. I also believe that living long is important, but living healthy is far more important than living longer. So if you are not healthy, that long living will become the curse, basically. If we really analyze various types of medical problems, what the family members will have, and those looks very simple, but something to name, like hyperacidity. I'm sure there would be at least 30 to 40% of our listeners of today's show must be suffering from hyperacidity. Second, acid reflux, that is GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disorder. And the doctor's visits are amazingly increased because of these two problems, which is hyperacidity and gastroesophageal reflux disorder. Third major problem is constipation, poor gut health. The family suffers. And there are loads of information on social media that eat this, eat that, drink this smoothie, drink that. And instead of resolving constipation, patients become more constipated. Constipation is also of various types. You will be amazed to know. One is the diabetic constipation. Constipation because of diabetes. The poor control of blood sugar that leads to poor gut health, and poor gut health leads to constipation. Second is cardiac constipation. You cannot exert pressure while passing the stools. So cardiac constipation, so cardiovascular disease patients, they also feel a lot troublesome while passing the motion, or they feel constipated. Third is pregnancy constipation. During pregnancy, pregnant woman, and she's always scared. So pregnancy constipation is also, the statistics says that it is 48% of pregnant women, they are constipated. Another thing is, pregnant woman is always on iron and calcium and folic acid, and that sweetly induces constipation. So there is always, every ill has got pill, but every pill will certainly give more and more ill. So there are always side effects of certain medications. So to solve all these type of nutritional deficiencies, I normally emphasize be close to nature, and natural nutrition is always superior with respect to bioavailability, bioabsorption, and that gives more clinical benefits. We'll come on that one by one. Fourth is pediatric constipation. We know that children, they are constipated, and because of that, they cry, or they are not in a good mood, or they become lethargy. And that happens even to a 1-year-old or a 2-year-old boy or a baby girl. That constipation is really a headache for mother and the entire family. Fifth type of constipation is post-surgery constipation. Nowadays, there are a lot of surgical operations taking place. So post-surgery constipation is also the troublesome for even medical doctors. They need to wear the hand gloves and remove the hard stools from the patient. Even NMR doesn't work in certain type of patients. These are the common problems like hyperacidity, gastroesophageal reflux, constipation. Then you have GERD, headaches, migraines. These are another type of worries that the family is looking for some remedies. Normal cough, cold, fever, as I mentioned, these are now ongoing. Earlier fever, okay, you take paracetamol or Dolo 650 or this, but now the moment you get 99.6 fever, the patient goes in trauma. He feels that I am suffering from COVID. And not only he, but the entire family wants to separate from him. That is isolation. So the kind of fear, the type of anxiety and depression that is tremendous, imparting on the entire health of the family. People feel that even a minor cough or cold, maybe a little respiratory infection, that is worrying a housewife, and their life is totally in mess. There were a lot of challenges during this pandemic. So most of the doctors were closed, their clinics were not operating, and most of them were doing through phone consultation to various patients. In fact, I also did, but I used to visit, I used to entertain the patients on a regular basis. This is not out of pride, this is humanity service and service to the mankind. Not a single day during COVID pandemic, I have taken a day off. Every day it is open to my patients, and 3 precautions I used to take. Now everybody listen very carefully. Everybody knows that you have to sanitize your hands, use sanitizers or wash with the soap for 30 seconds thoroughly and all those things, wear mask and follow social distancing. Apart from this, I was doing coconut oil, which is MCT, putting 3 drops of MCT in my nostrils. Believe me, MCT makes sure that you become protected, you stay protected, because MCT coconut oil is not only antiviral, It is also antibacterial and antifungal. And the same coconut oil I used to apply on my palms. Of course, social distancing, keeping 6 feet or 3 feet distance, wearing mask, all these things are essential. But putting coconut oil in nostrils, and the small experiment I have also done, that those who were running with the COVID symptoms, I told them to apply MCT coconut oil in the nostrils 3 times daily. And the second day, they went for RT-PCR test. And the test came negative in 100% patients. So this is the beauty of Mother Nature. No doubt why coconut tree is considered as Kalpavruksha. We disregarded the nature. Coconut oil is poison. Coconut oil is full of cholesterol and triglycerides. Coconut oil is not good for heart. And these myths were spread by some lobbies and other oil industries. Coconut oil is blessed with MCT to the extent that lauric acid, which is the main MCT fraction, is more than 50%. Mother's milk has MCT, lauric acid, to the extent of 3%. We know mother's milk is Amrut, the divine nectar, and that protects your infant, that newborn baby, from various types of chronic diseases like disorders like viral infections, bacterial infections, jaundice, whatever you say. The baby is prone to catch infections very fast. So mother, when is put on MCT coconut oil, and when she feeds milk, that infant gets MCT from mother's milk, and really the infant's immunity is boosted. MCT coconut oil, I would like to take 1 minute on this particular wonder nutrient. MCT is nothing but miraculous coconut thylam. Really, it is a medium chain triglyceride is the science terminology, but I say miraculous, that is M, C, coconut, and T for thylam. And that M stands for metabolism. That means it improves your metabolism. That means those who are suffering from diabetes and diabetic complications, even diabetic neuropathy, peripheral neuropathy, your hands, feet, they start burning. You just apply on the feet MCT coconut oil, your pain, tingling sensation drops substantially. Let me tell you this. Third, those who are suffering from venous insufficiency, like varicose veins or deep vein thrombosis, I have personally seen MCT coconut oil 10 ml twice daily. You can put it in food also, like when you make your upma, you just spread 10 ml of coconut oil in that upma or poha, or you make a lovely soup in that soup, or when you make a delicious coffee, in the coffee you can have MCT coconut oil and see the miraculous metabolism effect, because our body is based on M for metabolism, and M is the main driving force of your mind, brain, heart, everything. So metabolism, once it is improved, your entire body cycle and hormonal balance. So coming to hormonal balance, those who are suffering from hypothyroidism, TSH levels are very high, above 6. Thyroid stimulating hormone is what TSH. I put them on MCT coconut oil and plus some other nutrition supplements like omega-3 fatty acids, vitamin D deficiency. Always this type of patients will have vitamin D deficiency. Now D stands for vitamin D, but D stands for diabetes. D stands for degenerative disorders of your bones, muscles, cartilages, connective tissues. That is why we say vitamin D deficiency leads to osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, osteopenia, osteomyelitis. There are so many names for these poor bones, joints, and cartilages. Another important thing is the collagen. Collagen is nothing but the connective tissue strength. Collagen is nothing but strength of your blood vessels, arteries, and capillaries, which are connected to your central nervous system. So collagen is the main protein in your body. We say that what is the protein in our body? Nobody will say, nobody will really know what is the protein that present in our body, human body. It's collagen. And that collagen boosts is really happens through vitamin C. That is why most of the posts they reflect on vitamin C or citrus fruits like lemons, oranges. Avla is a superfood which boosts your collagen naturally. So vitamin C, and that is how the boost of collagen, and that is the second word in MCT. M stands for metabolism, C stands for boost of collagen. And T, of course, I covered that is thyroidism. So it treats, and T for treatment. Now the best treatment for cancer. See, cancer is a serious metabolic syndrome, the disease. Two types of problems when they occur simultaneously. That is depletion of oxygen in cells, and second one is too much of acidity in your body that encourages the growth of cancer cells. Everybody and everybody has cancer cells, but when they grow to the exponential power, even I have cancer cells, but unfavorable conditions like depletion of oxygen, like I said, if you are anemia, if you are asthma, or if you are COPD patient, or you are having CKD, or you are having cancers, or you are having neurodegenerative disorders, your blood oxygen carrying capacity is low, your cellular oxygen capacity is low, your lungs oxygen capacity is tremendously low, and that is how your immunity. Now, there are so many immunity boosters in the market, but let them define what is the immunity. Immunity is basically your oxygen boost. And what is that oxygen boost you get from the nature? That's what I said. 660 liters of oxygen nature provides. And still we push nature towards alternative treatment. Nature is our main treatment. Remember, nature is our lifesaver. If we stop getting oxygen, if we stop getting water, we are finished. You can survive without food for, let us say, 10 to 15 days or maybe 20 days, or if you are a sadhu, you can survive for 2 months. But without water and oxygen, I don't think you will survive for even few days. So this is how the criticality that you must ensure that your blood oxygen level, your lungs capacity has to be proper. Lungs, they determine your cardio capacity because heart will require oxygen, oxygenation of blood. We know the function of arteries and veins. Now, veins, arteries, they carry the oxygenated blood from heart. That is, the oxygen is supplied by lungs to heart, and oxygenated blood is supplied by arteries to various parts of our body, like again liver, then brain, then kidneys, and pancreas, gut. Everywhere the oxygenated blood is supplied by arteries, and in return the blood gets contaminated, deoxygenated. That is, carbon dioxide is released back to the blood, and veins carry this impure blood to the heart. And that is how heart is the pumping machine. It is a purification chamber, and oxygen is supplied as a fuel to the heart. So venous insufficiency. Now remember, this is very important discussion. Venous insufficiency, that means your veins are not working properly. That means your organs are receiving oxygenated blood from arteries, but veins are not able to take the deoxygenated blood back to the heart. And that is how the cardio function comes at the danger. So if heart doesn't receive any blood for purification, what arteries will supply back? Again, the oxygenated blood will not be able to supply. And this is a major concern. And that is why the role of hypercholesterol, high triglycerides, high blood sugar, because what happens is the sugar and lipids, they clog the arteries. They form the very sticky kind of layer along the walls of the arteries, and that in medical terminology we call atherosclerosis or arteriosclerosis. That means the passage of blood from veins to heart or heart to other parts of the body, they are blocked. And that is, in common terminology, we say blockage, 90% blockage or 80% blockage, all these things. So diabetes is the main culprit. Diabetes causes your venous insufficiency. Diabetes causes your arterial fibrillation. Diabetes can cause high blood pressure, because what happens is when blood sugar increases in your blood, जैसे शुगर बढ़ जाता है, हम जैसे चाशनी बनाते हैं, चाशनी में जैसे शुगर की मात्रा होती है वो थिक हो जाता है. So same thing, the blood viscosity goes high, it becomes very thick. So remember how that heart can pump that thick viscous blood which is rich of sugar to various parts. So that is that, then the pressure on the heart increases. उसको उसको पंपिंग का काम करना है, तो प्रेशर बढ़ गया, इसका मतलब क्या हो गया, हाइपरटेंशन हो गया इसका. दैट इज अ हाई ब्लड प्रेशर, व्हाट इज नॉर्मली वी कॉल हाई ब्लड प्रेशर. So even high blood pressure is most of the time linked with your diabetes, uncontrolled sugar levels. So these need to be addressed very, very carefully. Now the same thing, if this blood circulation is difficult, then what will happen to your microcapillaries of brain? ये जो शुगर वाला ब्लड है वो ब्रेन के कैपिलरीज से कैसे पास होगा, इसका मतलब स्ट्रोक या पैरालिसिस एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स. बिकॉज रिमेंबर, one microcapillary is equivalent to 1000 of one hair is equivalent to 1000 microcapillaries. So one hair, just one hair is equivalent to 1000. So you can imagine that microcapillary which is supplying blood to brain or various types of neurons and neurotransmission, वो कैसे affect नहीं होगा. So this is very important thing, that is why one has to think what are the healthy fats, what are the how to manage the blood sugar levels without even now medication is important, but my first suggestion is walking. Walk to cure exercise, walk to cure diabetes is the slogan of JDRF. JDRF is nothing but Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. Various research foundations like American Diabetic Association, American Heart Association, British Heart Foundation, even Indian Council of Medical Research, National Institute of Nutrition, JECFA, that is Joint Executive Subcommittee for Food Additives, all these recommend that walking is the first remedial action that every diabetic or hypertensive or high cholesterol patient or a BP patient must do. Exercise or walking or cycling or swimming, whatever type of exercise you want to do, you must give 1 hour time. Meditation is very important to get rid from depression, fear, and anxiety. This is a very important thing. See, these are focused. Now, meditation along with Veda. Now, Veda, they have defined what is the power of Ayurveda. Basically, Ayurveda is defined from Veda. Now, when we really think, when we really go back to various our Veda, there are 4 Vedas we know: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. And the power of herbs is described mostly in Atharvaveda. I have studied all 4, and I spent a lot of time in reading Veda right from my age of 3 years. So today, I can read Vishnu Sahasranam by heart, then Rudram, Namakam, Chamakam, all these things. There are a lot of this Panchamukhi Hanuman Stotram. Gayatri, of course, I am a Brahmin follower of Gayatri Mantra and Sandhya Vandanam. So I believe that this Veda has tremendous healing power. So it is also the part of meditation, and meditation works sometimes wonder compared to medication. So meditation is very important, and we all know the beautiful song. Yeah.
Sharadji, I think you are touching some very, very important, and these Vedas, shlokas, or you know, I have heard you a couple of times, they also help in oxygenation.
Oxygenation, yes.
Right. So maybe, you know, to the audience, I would like you to recite one of them. I remember they are so interesting. So it is something which is really help people, that these mantras, they also have immense role play for the entire functioning of the body. Right?
That's right. That's
so
right.
Maybe I'll leave it to you when you suggest, you know, please do mention about that.
Sure. See, this Gayatri mantra, everybody knows maybe by heart. The Gayatri mantra says, Om Bhurbhava Swaha Tasya Viturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. There are 7 loka. We say Bhu loka. Om Bhurbhava. Bhu Bhuvaha Suvaha Maha Janaha Tapaha, and last is Ogum Satyam, Satya Lok. So all these 7 loks and their incredible power is described in Gayatri Mantra. That is how Om Bhurva Swaha Tasya Viturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai. Now, when Srishti was created by Brahma, of course, we all know, the herb Brahmi gave that power to Brahma. Actually, Brahmi is not derived from Brahma. Brahma is derived out of Brahmi. So Brahmi, we all treat that is a nature's brain. There is one post which got viral on Facebook and various other social media. Brahmi is nature's brain. It rejuvenates your neurons. Brain has got 100 billion neurons. Brahmi rejuvenates. That is why Brahmi improves your memory, concentration, recall, learning abilities, all these things. So Brahmi is excellent for treating Alzheimer's and Parkinson's patients. Brahmi is excellent for epilepsy patients. I have seen personally giving Brahmi. Brahmi is the best medicine for insomnia. Those who are having sleepless nights and those who need to take a lot of pills for sleeping, Brahmi can be the best option, which makes you sleep instantly. The pure natural herbal extracts. Now there is a differentiation between the powders and extracts. Extracts are standardized so that the extracts are free from various types of toxic elements like heavy metals, allergens, and also contamination from various types of bacteria, which are normally present in a lot of herbs, herbal powders. So one need to go for a standardization so that the safety and purity, both the aspects can be defined. So Brahmi is described, the properties of Brahmi is described in Vishnu Sahasranam. So I will give the reference. So those who want to take the reference, where is the scientific documentation? The scientific documentation has done 5,000 and more than 5,000 years back. In Vishnu Sahasranam, Brahmi is defined as follows. Brahmavid Brahmano Brahmi, Brahmagnyo Brahmana Priya. The word Brahman means the one who teaches the world. That is, who is the power of knowledge. Brahman is the knowledge, and that knowledge power is Brahmi, and Brahmi also enhances Brahmagni. Brahmagnyo Brahmana Priya. Brahmagni is nothing but your gut fire. Brahmagni, Agni is gut fire or Jataragni, what we say. When we eat food, the food is digested by this Jataragni. And that is why we normally say that don't drink water immediately after food. So if you drink water immediately after food, that Agni Tattva gets cooled down and the digestion process is hampered. And immediately you will suffer from indigestion, hyperacidity, and various types of other gut-related problems, including irritable bowel syndrome, this IBD also. IBD is also a very painful condition. Constipation is of course there, and also various types of cancers, even colon cancer and stomach cancers. So it is very important to follow these disciplines that let that fire, that gut fire or Jataragni or Brahmagni, that makes the food digest completely, because it is very, very, very essential to digest your carbohydrates, proteins, fats, so that carbohydrates can be utilized for energy, best source of energy, proteins for your muscles, bones, and cartilages, connective tissues, and fats, of course. Now you will be surprised that brain consists of 60% fats. If you dissect and analyze, there is a scientific documentation saying that brain has 60% fats. Out of that 60%, 50% is omega-3. That is why the role of omega-3, EPA, DHA, which is there in fish, or ALA, that is alpha-linolenic acid, which is present in flax seeds, chia seeds, these are essential. And even nuts and seeds like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, almonds, walnuts. If you see the walnut, typically looks like a brain only. Walnut and brain, they look very identical. And cerebrum, cerebellum, all these brain components, they are exactly identical to walnuts. And this is how I say nature's communication for our health. Eat walnuts, eat almonds, eat flax seeds, eat chia seeds, eat fish omega-3. fatty acids that is best for your brain health. And brain is the remote control of your body. That is how it is beneficial for your cardiovascular health also. So omega-3, they are the good fats, they are the good lipids. Now, people may ask that we eat fish, so why we need fish omega-3 then? Now, there is a lot of contamination of poisonous metals. Fish is heavily found contaminated with mercury poisoning. And with mercury poisoning, because these are very difficult, because the vendors, they don't do all this quality analysis. They will just sell you fish. So when you bring fish back to your home and you cook and then you eat, so that mercury is a deadly poison, and that can damage your kidney. You can enter into CKD or even end stage renal disease that is called as ESRD. That is one. Second thing is lot of neurodegenerative disorders like Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. These are growing with this heavy metal toxicity. Mercury, arsenic, lead, chromium, cadmium, all these are found in various types of foods because of the various chemical fertilizers. Soil is contaminated, and all those effects are unfortunately seen in foods which are sold in supermarkets or sold in various grocery shops, and there is hardly any quality control. So yesterday's talk, I was also highlighting on the regulatory aspects to make sure that safety of food, safety of what we eat should come from the regulatory and from the labels, so that the consumers will know what they are eating. So the eat well is good, but eat safe. And how to identify that safety factor, that this food is contaminated with poisonous metals or a lot of microbacteria, or even the deadly fungus infections. So these type of things one has to ensure, and there is a role to educate the housewives, and that is how I think in future sessions we should do education programs. That is, in 1 hour we really say that the foods which are good to control diabetes and diabetic complications. Second one, we say those for kidney patients, how to lower creatinine, because kidney patients see the creatinine levels are very, very high, and at the same time GFR, that is glomerular filtration rate, drops substantially, so that the patient goes for dialysis almost 3 to 4 times a week, which is really painful. Fourth is cancer nutrition. That is, what are the foods that can be beneficial for patients suffering from cancer or patients suffering with cancer, and also the treatments of cancer, that is chemotherapy, radiation. So there are a lot of side effects, and these patients really are confused about what to eat, what not to eat. Their appetite is also hampered, that their taste buds, smell, nausea, vomiting, all these type of things are happening because of the treatments of cancer they undergo. So there are certain foods which can take care of these harmful effects of the treatments itself. So that is one. Very important thing is those who are on antibiotics, there are various types of problems when patients are prescribed antibiotics. One is the antibiotic-induced diarrhea. So diarrhea, patients, they visit the washrooms very frequently, and that is really painful. And for antidiarrheal medications, they feel their immunity is further going down. Another problem of antibiotics is their appetite is really at stake. So they won't be able to eat much food. Their appetite is lost, and because of the improper intake of food, their immunity is further at the danger. So various types of patients, they require various types of nutrients. Now, to cover all diseases, disorders, there are 10,000 medical conditions. Out of 10,000 medical conditions, only 600 medical conditions have been highlighted for solutions. Remaining are all left for the treatment with medical nutrition, because if you see, there are a host of problems like calcium deficiency, vitamin D deficiency, iron deficiency, or even micronutrients deficiency like iodine deficiency, magnesium deficiency. All these deficiencies, they will be treated only by medical nutrition, only by health foods from the mother nature, and there are certain medicinal plants that really heal your immunity power and boost your strength, stamina, rejuvenation, and everything. So these are very important topics. Now I will touch upon maybe 4 or 5 topics today. One I already covered is MCT coconut oil, which you can go back to my discussion and refer. MCT is really wonderful for the balance of all hormones. That means those who are suffering from various types of hormonal imbalance like estrogens, progesterones, menstrual problems. Females, they are having heavy menstruation, menorrhagia, or irregular periods. MCT coconut oil will be boon. Then another one, neurodegenerative disorders like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MCT will be boon. For cancer, it is the best nutrition. For pregnant, MCT coconut oil becomes the best nutrition. For newborn infant, that means MCT becomes the nutrition for 1 day old to 100 years of the young man who is living. So I think this is a wonderful thing. And now to touch upon main two aspects, that is oxygen, how to boost oxygen level through Mother Nature and in your kitchen itself. One is turmeric extract, which is curcumin. Of course, turmeric has got ORAC value of 1,24,000. That means ORAC is nothing but oxygen radical absorbance capacity. It boosts your oxygen, blood oxygen carrying capacity and lungs capacity. So curcumin is a concentrated extract of turmeric. In turmeric, curcumin concentration is only 1 to 2%. That means in 1 kilo of turmeric, you get only 20 grams or 10 grams of curcumin. So that is the beauty of curcumin. And curcumin, when you take, your blood oxygen carrying capacity is improved. So in short, blood is purified. You see all your tests, whether you have a disease of cancer or thyroid or any particular or diabetes, your blood is tested. So you go for a blood test. So if your blood is pure from all the toxins, naturally you are healthy. So curcumin acts as a blood purifier. Second one is nitrates. They are very important. They are vasodilators. They improve circulation in arteries, veins, and also microcapillaries. And from where we get nitrates? Beetroot, excellent example for nitrate. Red spinach is excellent example of nitrates. Then there are certain spices like garlic, ginger. They also give us good amount of nitrates. Even palak. Palak also boosts your hemoglobin because it is a rich source of iron. Palak is also a rich source of magnesium, which very few people know. Now, magnesium deficiency, 80% of diabetics will have magnesium deficiency because what happens is their nerves, then their bones, arteries, even the calf muscle. Calf muscle is the second heart, we normally say. Most of the diabetics will have pain in the calf muscle and their feet pains, and they undergo that chronic fatigue syndrome that is known as fibromyalgia. They feel fatigue all the time, they feel sleepy, they feel loss of energy. So basically nitrates, they boost your blood oxygen capacity and also they enhance the blood circulation in arteries, veins, capillaries, and that is how they make you feel good. Third important is water. Never stop, or whenever you remember, at least have a sip of water. In a day, I recommend 10 glasses of water. There is a theory, 10 glasses of water makes you, because your urine output is equivalent to 7 to 8 glasses in a day. So you need to replenish the water loss. First of all, urine, you have a lot of contaminants and toxins from blood get eliminated from urine. At the same time, your water level in the body, because we are made up of water, our body is made up of 70% of water, and bones, even bones has got about 35% of water. So we see that bones though dry hai, hard hai, but bones also, even brain. So when there is a dehydration, and the major reason of osteoporosis, osteoarthritis is not a lack of calcium and vitamin D, but the major is dehydrated or loss of water, and that is how your flexibility of your bones, joints, muscles, cartilages drops down. So in fact, there is one slogan that whenever you are facing a disease, have a sip of water. Your blood pressure is high, have a sip of water, relax for 10 minutes, measure the blood pressure. Surely it will come down by at least 20 units. If your blood sugar is higher, have a sip of water, relax for 10 minutes, and again check by glucometer, you will feel the major difference. And also at the same time, you do meditation. In that 10 minutes, I will not say that 10 minutes you see some media news and get yourself in trauma or fear and anxiety and depression. I will say that chant Gayatri Mantra, chant Mahamrutyunjay Jap, or whatever you like, or just Om. And that has miraculous power in your healing. And then you check your blood pressure, blood sugar, and whatever you can check at home. Now you are now pulse oxygen also, SpO2. That now everybody is having that machine in their houses, and we check the pulse and also SpO2 oxygen saturation. So that also one can measure. Drink water, and that water can be made tasty and wonderful. I will tell you how to do that. That will make the detox very fast. One day, in fact, I do myself. I'm saying what I am doing. One day, I take tulsi water. That means around 20 leaves of tulsi in my 10 glasses, that is approximately 2.5 liters to 3 liters water. 20 leaves of tulsi or pancha tulsi drop. I just put 5 to 6 drops and drink that water one day. Second day, I use pudina, that is mint leaves, and that water I drink. Third day, I drink cucumber water, that is cucumber chopped, and then drink that water. Fourth day, I drink lemon water, that is lemon juice. And in fact, along with the lemon peels also dropped in that. The whole day, that is 10 glasses of water, I drink that as a lemon water. Similarly, orange peels. Now, normally peels we throw, and that peels are miraculous actually in terms of nutritive values. So peels, you can put it in the water, that gives nice fragrance, like you know that typical orange juicy, or you can say lemonade, the taste which comes out from the water, and that makes water more palatable and interesting, because some people feel drinking water very boring, and especially children and geriatric people, they are worried about. So these type of things. And the another beauty is use of certain spices like ajwain. You put ajwain leaves also, okay, ova, ajwain leaves or ajwain or cumin seeds, roasted cumin. You just put 1 teaspoon each in water and drink that water, and name that water as a holy water, or name that water as a yogic water. And that water will miraculously heal your mind, will miraculously heal your body, and miraculously heal your soul as well. So these are the some certain tips which don't need any prescription. These are the certain tips which you don't need to go and ask the medical expert that whether I can do ajwain water, or even you can have flax seeds, chia seeds, ajwain and fennel seeds combination as a mukwas. That is, after meal, you can have this roasted jeera, ajwain, fennel, that is badi shape or soft, what we say, and also chia seeds or flax seeds. And these with a little bit of black salt, you put it, excellent digestive. Let me tell you, it enhances your digestion, absorption, assimilation of nutrients. So these simple tips you can use. Third thing, which I would say, that every person should eat at least 10 grams of ginger. Now, with the courtesy of Dr. Google, you can type ginger and cancer. Anybody can go on Google, just type 2 words, ginger and cancer. Of course, there are a lot of articles of mine also you will find, but I'm not saying I'm something extraordinary or follow me. But ginger and cancer, there are a lot of published research from the world leading organizations, health organizations, even cancer research institutes. They say that ginger is 10,000 times more effective than chemotherapy. 10,000 times more effective. Ginger solves your nausea and vomiting, which is adverse effects out of your various treatments, medical treatments, nausea and vomiting. Ginger is nothing but to enhance your digestion, digestive power. Shape of ginger and shape of your gut, shape of your intestine, they're all similar. So the nature's communication, nature says that if you want to digest, you want to metabolize your food properly, include ginger and the classic taste, the ginger masala tea, the excellent taste that ginger will impart to your dal, your curries, your whatever pulao, or even lemon juice along with ginger. That particular can be a detox beverage or detox element. Another thing for diabetes, simple treatment, that is make a juice of curry leaves, cinnamon, ginger, these three particular ingredients, and those who are sweet lovers eat put little bit of jaggery. Now jaggery is rich source of iron and it boosts hemoglobin. So up to 5 grams a day jaggery will not increase your blood sugar levels or will not make you really into chronic diabetes and all, but never exceed. Likewise, we say food is the medicine. That means you take food like a medicine. Now, curry leaves, 8 to 10 curry leaves. Those who suffer from hyperglycemia, that is blood sugar levels always show 250 and above, and they go into the depression and say that I am putting so much of restriction on my diet, I am doing so many things, but still my blood sugar is not coming to normal. 10 leaves of curry leaves, put it in 2 glasses of water, bring it to boil. Now this is the recipe from Master Chef Sharath Kasarle. And this is tested and also tried. 10 leaves of curry leaves, you boil in water. After boiling, while boiling, you can put 1 teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Continue boiling. Then you put chopped ginger, about 2 to 3 grams, or you can put a ginger paste also, about 2 to 3 grams in that particular boiling water. So you have curry leaves, ginger paste, and also cinnamon. Jaggery is optional. If you want to have the natural taste without sweet, the jaggery can be eliminated as well. But jaggery boosts your hemoglobin. Jaggery helps to boost your cellular iron level, and also in metabolism also jaggery helps. And a touch of methi or fenugreek seeds. That is a half teaspoon to 1 teaspoon. If you are chronic, then you can go up to 1 teaspoon. Make this wonderful tea and drink hot. Believe me, this is an excellent blood sugar burner. It burns your blood sugar and your metabolism, digestion, and also the cravings to sweets. You know, most of the diabetics, they feel that they should eat more and more sweets. चोरी छुपे जाके फ्रिज में से लेके निकाल के खा जाते हैं. So these cravings will be reduced substantially with this type of this is also a detox, because curry leaves also control your blood pressure. Cinnamon controls your blood pressure, blood cholesterol, and blood sugar as well. There is a scientific documentation on each and every ingredient. Fenugreek has got galactomannan and saponins, which acts on bitters, which acts as bitters to really work against your excess blood glucose, and they act as a insulin. Now, fenugreek methi is also termed as your spice insulin. That is fenugreek methi. So this is a wonderful that any housewife can prepare, but those who are normal, they should not take it, or those who are blood sugar is on the lower side, because this will lower the blood sugar. So there is a caution has to be taken that only for hyperglycemia, those who are suffering from blood sugar levels above 250 or above 200, they can try this particular drink once or twice a day, and they feel really energetic and wonderful, because the glucose gets metabolized, and that is how each and every cell of your body receives glucose, and your blood glucose levels, they drop. There are 2-3 herbs which are very important other than fenugreek, methi, neem, karela, and all those things. But guduchi and moringa. This guduchi and moringa. Guduchi is also known as amruta or giloy. These are the common names, and their extract. And moringa oleifera, I don't have to say that drumsticks plant is a miraculous tree on this earth. 92 nutrients, 48 antioxidants, and 71 antimicrobials are blessed in moringa. So what else you want? We are worried about one virus called COVID-19. This has got 71 antimicrobial agents only in your drumstick plant. Moringa was approved by FDA for malnutrition problem. That means it corrects your iron deficiency. It corrects your calcium deficiency. It corrects your vitamin D deficiency. It corrects your B12 deficiency. It corrects your omega-3 deficiency. So it is a powerful multivitamin, multimineral. So the entire pharmaceutical industry can be capsuled as a moringa capsule in terms of or moringa drumsticks and moringa leaves. Such a wonderful Mother Nature's incredible resource that one can use in the kitchen. You can make sambar, you can make rasam, you can make beautiful curry out of moringa leaves and drumsticks. And also, there are good number of supplements of moringa. Those who don't like moringa taste, they can have moringa and guruchi. These are the wonderful medicinal plants which work on your blood sugar levels and also on various types of infections and inflammatory conditions. Moringa is also good to lower your C-reactive protein. Now, CRP, elevated levels of CRP are major cardiovascular risk factors. In between, even Saurav Ganguly had got cardiac heart attack. And when his CRP level was tested, it came very high. So high levels of CRP, they are cardiovascular risk biomarkers. They are also risk factors for arthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. And now they are risk factors for COVID pandemic risks. So all these complications like hypoxia, hypoxemia, lungs fibrosis, brain is receiving lesser oxygen. All these things are now linked with CRP, elevated levels of CRP, and that is how vitamin C, collagen, and curcumin turmeric extract and anti-inflammatory foods. There is one specific diet as anti-inflammatory because these are the inflammatory biomarkers, pain biomarkers, even cancer. Elevated levels of CRP also indicates cancers. So anti-inflammatory foods, what are those? The foods which are high ORAC values, like I said, cinnamon, curcumin, clove, cardamom, all these red spinach, all these with high ORAC values are anti-inflammatory foods. They enhance your blood circulation. They enhance your vasodilation. And that is how they help you to keep you fit and healthy. And these are real immunity boosters. Now, there are Dashavatars, we all know. And really, the nature's Dashavatar, in terms of your kitchen, I would define as Dashavatars, like nature's brain is Brahmi. Your strength, Ashwagandha. Strength is Ashwagandha. So your strength, power, fatigue, weakness is resolved by Ashwagandha. Hormonal balance and all menstrual type of problems and woman's strength is what Shatavari is. So Shatavari becomes the third avatar of nature. Fourth avatar of nature is Trifala, your healthy gut and healthy brain. Trifala is nothing but Avla, Harda, and Behda. These three ingredients coming together, they make Trifala, and they treat Vata, Pitta, Kapha. Trifala is not only to treat constipation, IBS, IBD, and all those things, but Trifala also heals your gut and brain dysfunction disorders. This is fourth avatar of Mother Nature. Fifth avatar of Mother Nature is ginger, Suntha. Suntha, yani we say that first of all, the singer sings through his kantha. So I normally say that to improve your kantha, you have to eat Suntha. And that Suntha or ginger enhances your digestion, metabolism, and also treats your gastroesophageal reflux, hyperacidity, and also various types of cancers. As I mentioned, ginger and cancer connection. So ginger is the best medical nutrition for those suffering from cancers. So your hyperacidity, that is a major risk factor for cancers, can be taken care by ginger. So you can have buttermilk with ginger. You can have lemon juice with ginger. You can have ginger tea or ginger dal or make a sambar out of it. So ginger becomes the fifth avatar of Mother Nature. Sixth avatar of Mother Nature is coconut tree. And every part of the tree is really useful. So coconut, as I mentioned, coconut oil, which is really the boon for all types of fungal, bacterial, and also viral infections. It treats metabolic syndromes. It enhances metabolism. and also and hormonal balance. That is what the coconut, the role of coconut, and that is why it is named as Kalpavruksha. Seventh avatar is banana. Banana is also termed as the Kalpavruksha. There were three trees which are recognized as Kalpavruksha: banana, mango, and coconut. Unfortunately, all three were thrown in the dustbin, saying that mango is bad, banana is worst, and also coconut can be the heart spoiling. So again, we need to revisit the nature, revisit the mother. Why these were called as Kalpavruksha? Banana leaf, if you eat banana on banana leaf, right from leaf, it has got EGCG, epic yellow catechin gallate. This treats type 2 diabetes. In fact, the food served, that is why on banana leaf, the people used to serve even sweets there and eat so that your digestion and your absorption, metabolism is perfect. So eating on banana leaf is excellent option. Plus, banana has got leptin, which has got miraculous properties. Fully ripe banana heals cancer. That is another one, that cancer antigens is a test, and fully ripened banana, if you eat, that is recommended as the main nutrition for even patients suffering from compromised immunity disorders. Now I am just giving the example of cancer, but compromised immunity, there are at least more than 500 medical conditions with compromised immunity. So banana is excellent source of magnesium, potassium. Now potassium is heart friendly. So don't look as only the sugar content of the fruit. Fruit is nothing but it has got enzymes which help metabolize your sugars and various fats and proteins. Fruit has got dietary fibers, soluble fibers, which help lower your LDL cholesterol and boost your HDL cholesterol to boost cardiovascular health. Fruits have got minerals and vitamins, which are very, very crucial for your more 300 metabolic reactions in the body. Fruits are blessed with nucleotides. As I mentioned, pomegranate fruit has got 231 nucleotides. Now, that is why pomegranate kernels, they look like your red blood cells. Pomegranate, when you cut, look like heart. So nature says that it is heart friendly. That is why pomegranate reduces your blood pressure, reduces your blood cholesterol, and pomegranate is the best fruit for those suffering from prostate enlargement and having elevated levels of prostate specific antigens, which are risk factor for prostate cancer. So for prostate related problems, pomegranate becomes the very, very healthy fruit. It also enhances your red blood cells like hemoglobin, platelets. Those who are suffering from various types of chronic viral infections like dengue, malaria, and even in terms of COVID, your platelets are dropped, your WBC count, lymphocytes are dropped, and also hemoglobin is also dropped. At these conditions, pomegranate becomes very, very useful as a source of nutrition. So this is what about the avatars. That is seventh avatar what I mentioned. Now eighth avatar is, of course, which I already covered, which is drumstick plant moringa. Moringa is blessed with 92 nutrients and 48 antioxidants, 71 antimicrobials. And I have listed on my post each and every, this is not for saying what are those 92 nutrients, what are those 71 antimicrobials, agents which are present in moringa. Now, why industry should look at sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate and potassium metabisulfite, all these chemical preservatives? Moringa can be the best preservative for food industry, for pharmaceutical industry, for herbal industry. So moringa is the blessing, which is the Athva avatar of Mother Nature. Now ninth avatar, that is we say 9 is very critical. Now Durga, now Ratan, we say all jewels of Mother Nature. And I say that ninth avatar of Mother Nature, Sarva Mangala Mangalye, Shive Sarvartha Sadike, Sharanye Trambake Gauri, Narayane Namostute. Your turmeric, Sarva Mangala, Sarva Mangalya. That means every Suhasini, every Suhagan worships turmeric. She applies turmeric on her face. She applies turmeric on her feet and on her body so that her skin, her body gets rejuvenated. She drinks curcumin milk so that internally she gets rejuvenated and entire body becomes Sarva Mangala Mangalye. See the beautiful Veda. Who says that turmeric is poison? Now there was an article, too much of turmeric, too much. Who is saying that to take too much? Are you taking too much of any medicine? No. Then why criticize on Mother Nature's incredible resources and their incredible healing? Now turmeric, curcumin, there are a lot of research papers, more than 8,000 research papers on cancer, is anti-cancer, because it purifies the blood. So blood purification means it will treat all types of medical conditions, including your Alzheimer's, including your Parkinson's, including your blood cholesterol, including your triglycerides, including your blood pressure. So turmeric becomes Nawa gel, there is ninth gel or Navratan of the Mother Nature, that is turmeric. And I really pray everyone that everyone remain Sarva Mangala, सबका मंगल हो, सबका मांगल्य हो, or even gold, we say that gold is also the color of turmeric. So turmeric has got lot of significance on our health, and that is why the what you can say, that the death rate even in pandemic in India compared to the entire globe was lower, in spite of having more number of cases. But because our food, we use turmeric a lot, and that turmeric, but with the conscious mind, if we start drinking curcumin or turmeric, and if we start using turmeric in number of our products, I think the kitchen will become really the clinic, and kitchen become clinic with all these dasha avatars. Now 10th avatar is nothing but, can you guess?
Hello?
Can you guess 10th avatar?
10th avatar. That's a good puzzle. You are an encyclopedia. You are testing. I would like to hear from you. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is definitely the thing. The 10th avatar is, you will be surprised that 10th avatar is garlic.
Sorry?
Garlic.
Garlic. Okay.
Garlic treats hypertension. And garlic also is the booster as far as nitrates are concerned. That's what I mentioned. So garlic has got typical significance as far as our blood vessels, arteries, capillaries, health, as well as even reflux conditions. These where the garlic has significant role in healing. So garlic is also the main ingredient in Indian cuisine. So if you see out of these, ginger, garlic, then of course turmeric, these are the regular, coconut. So these are the regular ones. And we should continue using it. Why I'm saying is, and now I don't know how much time is left because I am not able to see the time.
No, Sharad Bhai, I think what you are talking about is absolutely, you are defining the kitchen what it should be. I mean, in fact, for all possible kind of health concerns, and before the health concerns, the preventive part, because prevention is cure. And if we bring all these things as part of our dietary system, plus of course the walk, what you rightly said, the exercise, the meditation, if we combine, there can never be any word called disease. I mean, everything will be at ease. And therefore, the topic is of great relevance. And I think the way you have explained everything, that kitchen is truly the right clinic. And the physician is the mother or wife, whosoever is, managing the kitchen. And particularly when you talk of that Navaratna, or, these 10, right from Ashwagandha to Shatavari, Triphala, Amla, ginger, coconut, banana, pomegranate, drumsticks, moringa, turmeric, garlic, and so on. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing that every solution lies there. And it's also a fact, which a little bit of my understanding, that whenever we take any chemical in the form of medicine, the liver asks a question that from where have you come? I am made of 5 elements. Jal, Vayu, Agni, Prithvi, Akash. So what is this chemical which is coming inside? Because the body's capability as a nature, they create its own enzymes. So it does not, body does not require any external, these chemicals to process or help if God forbids there is any health issue. And then probably what happens that as we continue to take these chemicals in the form of medicines, they somewhere get a formation of stones as an example, and these stones, they affect or impact our kidney filtration system, which leads to the problem, the cardiac related issues, and then so on. So probably I think what is more important as I see that this kind of a knowledge what you are sharing to the viewers, probably this is something which should become part of the education system, because it doesn't require to be studied in medical or Ayurvedic institutions. They should become part, because what's happening is that today the aging is happening much faster. I mean, in fact, just to mention that there's an article which appeared in a New England Journal of Medicine, where it was said that, and the topic was a potential decline in life expectancy in US in 21st century, right? It is all because of that. I mean, we are having a healthy life, but tomorrow the generations, right, when they end up having sedentary lifestyle. And in fact, yesterday we were talking about, this social fabric, right? The stress, the junk food, in fact, not eating the food, which is hot, prepared fresh. So there are many, many things which are causing or a silent killer, and they become chronic in nature. So it is high time what you have reflected today is so relevant and so important that everyone, I mean, in fact, to be honest with you, I'll have to listen to your talk at least couple of times to absorb into the understanding, and I'm sure the viewers also will follow the same thing, so that what you said is really an amazing piece of wisdom. And you're very right. The mother nature is ultimately everything, right? And in fact, today I would like to call you as a master chef also, because what you said about they are so important and relevant in trying to come. And I think one more comment which I would like to make, and in fact I'm going to reflect towards the end of this National Nutrition Week. The water is life, very, very important.
Yes.
And when you talked about that 7 days you are taking the water fortified with cucumber or for tulsi or ginger or lemon and so on. I mean, in fact, this is, and we end up paying tons of money going to the 5-star hotel, serving the same thing and drinking it. We can do it at home. I mean, and interestingly, when we prepare this, these are more pure, right? And if we can offer to the divinity, that becomes even more pure, because the divinity also enters into it. So I think this is so exploratory, right? And when you talk of, there are, Mother Nature has given so much. I think we got to remind every day by waking up in the morning that we are going to take an oath that we're going to be just looking at our kitchen as our health center or as our clinic, or we should be respecting our person managing the kitchen, because again what you said at the beginning, the love and care, the affection, that goes as an ingredient, most importantly. And if it is also consumed with respect, not that watching the television or keeping a mobile phone or listening to a call, which is again very wrong. So somewhere we have to be very attentive, careful about this. This life is very precious, and it should be lived with a purpose. It should not be just living like that. And your point of when you reflected on COVID scenario, you're absolutely right. I mean, in fact, we are our own doctor. We don't have to go anywhere. The fear, the anxiety, the stress is actually a root cause. And that's where we need to learn ourselves, that we should know that if we, as you rightly said, when there is a high blood pressure, you just take a water, just drink sip by sip, sit calmly, quietly, do meditation for a few minutes, and you see that it is true. I have seen it myself in certain cases, where it normalizes very fast. So unnecessarily we run after, some chemical poison, we take it and then we believe. But you see, problem is that the faith with the doctor, right, today is very high. But unfortunately, not many doctors know how to discuss healthy diet, right? This is not their fault, but perhaps, it has not been taught, right? So I think I see, this is something which needs to be taken up as a very important subject. And you remember Dr. Mishra yesterday, I mean, though he's a super doctor, trauma surgeon of All India Institute of Medical Science as a director, he also spoke and talked about the relevance of these things even much more than ever. And what you spoke today, trust me, this is something which is, I call it eye-opening. And I think given the time, you can speak for hours together in greater details, particularly
Yes.
when you talk of moringa having 72 nutrients, high, antimicrobials and this, that. And your talk on MCT oil. I mean, in fact, as you know that our company, Yogic Secret, has tied up with one of the world's best company. And when I read that literature on MCT, I mean, probably this is going to be, I would say, a wholesome approach to maintain the body, because it addresses the cognitive part, it addresses, as an energy booster. It also helps to improve the HDL, which is very much needed, right? And so on. So I think nature, again, coming back to the mother nature, what you reflected is extremely powerful, and we should respect it. We should respect it, and we should follow what Mother Nature has given us. So maybe would like to hear your final comments. And I know the time limitation is always there, but to hear you is always a great, great pleasure. And maybe viewers would like to listen to your some mantra, which I have that with me, and maybe we will end up with that. Over to you, Dr. Sharad.
See the role of this detox water, what I mentioned, tulsi water, pudina water, lemon water. Now, these really detox your entire body in a week. In a week's time, you feel a lot of difference. Now, tulsi is amazing, amazing medicinal plant. In fact, above this Dashavatar, the one who has created Dashavatar maybe is the tulsi. I will rate tulsi on the top of it. Now, there are various types of tulsis, hundreds of varieties, but main one is Krishna tulsi. Krishna tulsi has got 1,671 microgram of vitamin K27. Now in India, 90% people, almost 90% are vitamin D deficiency. K27 is required for best bioabsorption of vitamin D. In spite of people eating eggs and vitamin D supplements, vitamin D is not getting corrected. So 1 cup of only tulsi leaves, or only 5 drops equivalent of panchatulsi drops, they boost your vitamin K2 level naturally, which boost your vitamin D naturally. And vitamin D is required for calcium to be absorbed by bones. And that is how all the story of osteoporosis, osteoarthritis has started. So vitamin K27 is also blood clotting agent. In case of heavy menstruation, heavy periods, vitamin K27 is required. After post-surgery, now there is a heavy bleeding. So for that particular thing, K27 helps to form the blood clot. So vitamin K27 is very essential nutrient for your brain, heart, kidneys, pancreas, and even your vascular system, blood, even blood. So vitamin K27 is blessed in Tulsi. Now Tulsi, I blessed the 5 words of Tulsi. I normally dissect the words. The T stands for throat infections. T stands for throat infection. So upper respiratory infections like your bronchitis or cough, chronic cough, cold, that T is nothing but throat infection. U of Tulsi is urinary tract infections. So those who are suffering from urinary tract infections or bladder infections, or you are having urinary incontinence, frequent urination or nighttime urination, Tulsi helps in these medical conditions. So having Tulsi detox water helps T and U. Now L. L stands for lungs capacity. That is our breathing. We all know that breathlessness. The Tulsi works for your cold, works for your sinus, sinusitis, and even headache. So that L stands for lungs capacity. So it boosts your lung capacity. S stands for sinusitis. So all types of sinusitis, that is your infections or even paranasal, the whatever passage is there, that passage is also covered by Tulsi. Now the last one, I stands for insomnia. That is those who are having not good sleep. When you have a Tulsi along with curcumin milk at night, you get a very nice and wonderful sleep. So Tulsi is really the blessing, and which treats most of the medical conditions which otherwise are difficult. So Tulsi is best in treating various types of infections. And I think this will go on. The lecture can be even overnight also, we can speak on various other conditions. But what we can do is small tips on your lips, like fever, how to treat fever at home. So that can be one particular small tip, like I gave the tip for diabetes, like curry leaves and all. So for fever, you can say coriander leaves, Tulsi, even dhania, that is coriander seeds. They are very good. You make, and ginger and pepper, coriander, and also you can put Tulsi and make a kadha out of it. And this is really wonder. That immediately you start sweating. That means your fever subsides, your fever comes down, and then you take guduchi. That guduchi is really the blessing as an antiviral particular thing. So guduchi acts as works in chronic fever. So actually, I had written one small thing in Hindi on Facebook, which also liked by many people. Sataye jab sardi, to lijiye sitofaladi.
Oh yes.
सर्दी के साथ खांसी तो लीजिए हनी और तुलसी. हनी और तुलसी. डायबिटीज से मत लो पंगा, आपके पास है गुडुची और मोरिंगा. हृदय को रखे स्वस्थ, अर्जुना रिष्ट है मस्त.
क्या बात. Wonderful.
So like this, I have written for 1,000 herbs.
Beautiful.
And this becomes maybe a small booklet.
Oh yes.
Which people can keep at home. There are the remedies which are age-old remedies. These are not. I am not saying these are remedies of which I researched, but these are age-old remedies. But somewhere we forgotten.
Yes.
So as a remembrance, small beautiful slogans, and easy to understand. Not any medical terminology, nothing like that. Now, Arjuna Rishta is beautiful for lungs capacity, heart, and also brain. So those who are having breathlessness, breathing difficulties, asthma, for them Arjuna Rishta is a good tonic. But of course, all these things to be prescribed by medical expert, medical practitioner, and the dosages, everything can be, but they work best. Pomegranate is another one which improves this thing. So yeah, I think Sharad, one by one we can cover.
Yeah, but Dr. Sharad, what I think that the body has to age. That's a fundamental truth, right?
Yeah.
And the food what we eat, consume, the nutrients which are required as the body is aging, and everyone would want to have, a very good biological age, right? And of course, the biological and psychological age, and the chronological age is just the number. And therefore, in order to supplement those nutrients, as you rightly said, if there are products which are standardized extract, free from heavy metals, subject to microbial test, preservative free, they are gluten free, they are free from insecticide, pesticide, aflatoxins, perhaps, this should also necessarily become, irrespective of the disease or not, as part of the dietary system, so that at least one can have a healthy aging, which is very important. Because may not happen that we worked hard for 60 years, now we have money to enjoy, and entire money goes into medical and hospital bill. That should not be the scenario. And that's something we got to bring in at an early age of, people's life. So I think you would agree with me. So somewhere we need to bring that knowledge also more intensely than ever before.
Yes, and the role of kitchen and the role of housewife is to ensure that your gut is gut and not gutter.
Yes.
So
very
try
true.
to avoid junk foods.
Yes.
When gut becomes gutter, your
Yeah.
brain drains.
Yes.
And
That is why.
in one line,
That is why I say that, yesterday I was talking when 2 months when we were imprisoned in our house, right? We were eating home food, and nobody
yeah,
needed to go to OPD, or one could prevent the surgical intervention, right?
absolutely.
So that is the power. Actually, it is there. Otherwise, today the dark kitchen, the cloud kitchen, new terminology is coming, and we get very influenced with that, and we end up consuming these foods, which results into the first thing, the gut problem, which you are going to reflect day after tomorrow, the gut and
Yeah,
brain connection, and that is where the cognitive function is also slowing down. So
slow it down.
probably it's a very loud message to millions of people that we got to be sensitive about what we are eating. What we eat, we become. What we drink, So जैसा अन्न वैसा मन, जैसा पानी वैसी वाणी, जैसा संग वैसा रंग. These are so truthful statement. And
Yes.
probably adding to that, I also believe in the purity, right? Pavitrata, purity, satyata, truthness, dhairata, patience, sweetness, madhurta, right? Vinamrata, politeness. They are also very important ingredient and equally applicable what we are consuming, right? So somewhere, if we bring in all these things together, we can really create a beautiful planet, beautiful people.
Right, right. And housewives can ensure that they can post the refrigerator picture before and
Yes.
after.
Yes.
How they keep the refrigerator? Stale,
Yes.
stale atta, then kal ki sabji, bahar ke fast foods.
Quite
Or
right.
your refrigerator is colored with nature's resources, like you have fruits, vegetables,
Yeah,
nicely
very
arranged.
true, very true. I mean, in fact,
So,
I was talking to a nutritionist in US, and it was very startling information that by 2030, it looks like the way the junk food prevalence is there, 80% Americans may turn to diabetic, or even the cancer, increase is going to be a big number. I mean, in
yes,
India also, we are called second largest population suffering from diabetes after China. I think
yeah,
we got to be sensitive about the preventive care.
yes,
So what is missing is that tertiary hospital and all that. No, I think we got to seriously think about that our Mother Nature's gift are so much that we've got to institute this and making kitchen as a clinic. And I think that is what you reflected in today's discussion. And we got to have a couple of sessions, as time go by, on each of the segment of the illness or the sickness. And also, of course, how at early stage we can adapt to those practices will be extremely beneficial.
yes.
So maybe last, if you can recite that mantra, which is amazing. I do not know if you would like to, but that I still remember that, which is that Hanuman mantra, or
Hanuman Stotra, Panchamukhi Hanuman.
yes. Maybe we will end up with that. So it will be really
Okay.
pleasure to hear you out.
Sure. This Panchamukhi Hanuman Kavach or Stotra is a very long thing. What I will do in 2 minutes, only the part of it. The description of entire Ramayana, or the power of Hanuman. अंजनी सूताय वायुपुत्राय महाबल पराक्रमाय सीता दुख निवारणाय लंका दहन कारणाय महाबल प्रचंडाय फाल्गुन सखाय कोलाहल सकल ब्रह्मांड विष्णु रूपाय सप्त समुद्र निर्लंघनाय पिंगल नयनाय मित विक्रमाय सूर्यबिंब फल सेवनाय दुष्ट निवारणाय दृष्टि निरालंकृताय संजीवनी संजीवतांगद लक्ष्मण प्राणदाय सकल जन परिहारार्थाय ओम हरिमर्कण मर्कणाय बम 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 बौषड स्वाहा ओम हरिमर्कण मर्कणाय फम 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 फट स्वाहा ओम हरिमर्कण मर्कणाय खेंग 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 मारणाय स्वाहा ओम हरिमर्कण मर्कणाय लुम 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 आकर्षित सकल संपत् कराय स्वाहा ओम हरिमर्कण मर्कणाय धम 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 शत्रु स्तंभनाय स्वाहा ओम टम 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 कूर्म मूर्तये पंचमुख विरन्मते पर्यंत परतंत्रोच्चाटनाय स्वाहा ओम कंग खंग गंग गं डम छम छम जम जम नम टम ठम डम 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 तम थम दम दम नम पम पम बम बम मम यम रम लम वम शम शम सम हम ब्रम शम स्वाहा इति दिग्बन्धः ओम पूर्वकपिमुखाय पश्चिमक रन्मते टम 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 सकल शत्रु संवारणाय स्वाहा। ओम दक्षिण मुखाय पंचमुख मध्ये कराल वदनाय नारसिंहाय राम रेम रोम रैम रौम राहा सकल भूत प्रेत दमनाय स्वाहा। पश्चिम मुखाय गरुडाननाय पंचमुख मध्ये मम 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 सकल विचाराय स्वाहा। ओम उत्तर मुखाय आदिवरा लम 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 नृसिंहाय नीलकंठ मूर्तये पंचमुख वीर हनुमते स्वाहा। ऊर्ध्व मुखाय हयग्रीवाय रोम 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 रुद्रमूर्ते सकल प्रयोजन निवारकाय स्वाहा। ओम अंजनी सुताय वायुपुत्राय महाबलाय सीता शोक निवारणाय श्री रामचंद्र कृपा पादुकाय महावीर्य प्रमथनाय ब्रह्मांड नाथाय कामदाय पंचमुख हनुमते स्वाहा। भूत प्रेत पिशाच ब्रह्म राक्षसा शाकिनी ढाकिन्यम अंतरिक्षम ग्रह पर यत्र पर तंत्रोच्चाटनाय स्वाहा। सकल प्रयोजन निर्वाहकाय पंचमुख हनुमते श्री रामचंद्र वरप्रसादाय जम 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 स्वाहा। ये 5 मुख का अनुमान है, उसका स्तुति है। इदम कवचम पठेत वातु महाकवचम पठेत नरः एक वारम जपे स्तोत्रम सर्व शत्रु निवारणम द्विवारम तो पठे नित्यम पुत्र पौत्र प्रवर्धनम त्रिवारम च पठे नित्यम सर्व संपत्करम शुभम चतुर्वारम पठे नित्यम सर्व रोग निवारणम पंचवारम पठे नित्यम सर्व लोक वशंकरम षड्वारं च पठे नित्यम सर्व देव वशंकरम सप्तवारं पठे नित्यम सर्व सौभाग्यदायकम अष्टवारं पठे नित्यम इष्ट कामार्थ सिद्धिदम नववारं पठे नित्यम राजभोगम वाप्नुयात् दशवारं पठे नित्यम त्रैलोक्यम ज्ञान दर्शनम रुद्रावृत्तिं पठे नित्यम सर्व सिद्धिर भवे ध्रुवम निर्बल रोग युक्तश्च महाव्याधादि पीडितः कवच स्मरणेनैव महाबलम वाप्नुयात् इति श्री पंचमुख वीर हनुमत कवचम। ये महागरुड़ विष्णु के वाहन, उन्होंने उनकी स्तुति की है। ये पंचमुखी हनुमत कवच स्टार्टिंग में ही उन्होंने वर्णन किया है। 5 मुख हनुमान जिन्होंने संजीवनी सारी जगत को दिखाई। संजीवनी बूटी जो है आयुर्वेद का महात्म्य, वेद अभी इन्होंने जो सुषेण थे उन्होंने रास्ता दिखा कि कौन से आयुर्वेद वनस्पति से लक्ष्मण जी के प्राण हम बचा सकते हैं। उन्होंने जिंदगी दी, उन्होंने जिंदगी दी, लक्ष्मण को जिंदगी सुषेण ने दी और जीने की राह हम सबको हनुमान जी दिखा रहे हैं कि ये आयुर्वेद है जिनका रेफरेंस वेदों में है, इसको हमें भूलना नहीं चाहिए। और इंडिया इज आयुर्वेद कैपिटल ऑफ द वर्ल्ड। अनफॉर्चुनेट हम यहाँ देखते हैं आयुर्वेद पे बहस हो रहा है, आयुर्वेदिक औषधियों पे। हमने इस पे रिसर्च करना चाहिए और ये जो हमारी संपत्ति है, दिस इज आवर एंशिएंट प्रॉपर्टी। आयुर्वेद और वेद जो हमारी एंशिएंट प्रॉपर्टी है। आज स्कूलों में वेद पढ़ाना बंद हो गया है ऑलमोस्ट। वेद पढ़ाना चाहिए। That is why we are searching in documentation in US and Europe and America and various other places. ये documentation हमारे ऋग्वेद, यजुर्वेद, अथर्ववेद, सामवेद में पढ़े हैं, but unfortunately we are not able to read, we are not able to understand, and that is how शंकराचार्य जी ने कितने सुरेख लिखा है। आंवला जो है वो ब्रह्मा जी के आंखों से जो अश्रु निकले, जब इस सृष्टि की उत्पत्ति हुई, ब्रह्मा जी के अश्रुओं में से आंवला का पेड़ हुआ। And आंवला is nothing but currency in terms of gold in विष्णु लोक। उसको करेंसी यानी लक्ष्मी माता माना गया आंवला को। इसके लिए आंवला हम धनतेरस के दिन, दिवाली में, धनतेरस यानी एक्चुअली धनवंतरी, लॉर्ड धनवंतरी का त्योहार है। इस हेल्थ डे, बट हम लोग धनतेरस को हम समझते धन, लक्ष्मी, पैसा रख के पूजा करते हैं हम लोग। तो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज हेल्थ इज वेल्थ, आरोग्यम धन संपदाम। आंवला वो है, बिलवा जो है वो पार्वती माता के स्वेट से निकला है। So all these are well documented. Their medical properties, medicinal healing is very well documented, and that must reach to common man. That is the objective of various posts which I do day night selflessly without keeping any commercial interest on various Facebooks and social media. I'm really thankful for all this, that I'm able to share whatever little knowledge I have, and most importantly that the knowledge of Veda that heals your mind. See, अगर मन, वो गाना है ना, तोरा मन दर्पण कहला है। अगर मन ही मैला हो तो पूरा जग ही मैला दिखने लगता है। तो अगर मन को आप साफ रखें, मन को स्वच्छ रखें, why you have to have anxiety, why you have to have anger, why you have to have jealousy, why you have to have greediness, तो आप सबके लिए प्रेम की भावना रखें। अगर ये सब फैक्टर आते हैं तो अच्छे आ ही नहीं सकते विचार आपको।
नहीं, आपका कहना सही है, क्योंकि देखिए बाहर के मुल्कों में डॉक्टर रुस्तम रॉय, शायद नाम सुना होगा, he spoke on whole person healing, which is a combination of mind, body and spirit.
Yes.
And that was he created world's largest R&D facility in Penn State University in US. See, point is that ये सब हमारी ही है धरोहर,
हमारी है। And unfortunately, we are entering into debates and creating doubts on authenticity.
Yeah.
See, the Mother Nature is doing incredible work over 5,000 years. And there are a lot of medical conditions which have healed, which I myself, with my little knowledge, I'm not saying that I have the full knowledge on ocean of, and maybe even not even a drop in the ocean, that knowledge.
Very true, very true.
Mother
very
Nature is incredible in terms of, we know, at least I know 75,000 medicinal plants which I studied myself. There are over 300,000, that is more than 3 lakhs of medicinal.
That is why, for the viewers, let them know that Dr. Sharad Kasate was a blue-eyed of our ex-president, late Dr. Abdul Kalam, and in fact, he has been bestowed upon as Encyclopedia of Ayurveda. So I think we are so privileged and honored to hear him. And day after tomorrow, we are again going to listen on a beautiful and very important and relevant subject, which is gut and brain connection. Because अगर पेट नरम होता है तो दिमाग भी गर्म हो जाता है. पेट उल्टा बोला शायद मैंने. तो कहीं ना कहीं ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट सब्जेक्ट है जिसके ऊपर बात करेंगे. और डॉक्टर शरद, it's already getting 2 hours now and we'll wind up today's session. We can speak, we can hear you endlessly, and thank you so much for a beautiful session.
Thank you.
And very sure that when we are meeting again day after tomorrow, we are going to have more exciting time with you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
God bless all. God bless all.